Hi guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on the time you're watching this video. All right, so here is another time to learn again with Maverick. In today's video, we're gonna be learning how to create a church flyer. All right, how to create a church flyer. Now, this is not going to be the basic. All right, we'll be going a step further from what we've seen previously. So just follow through. So we are going to be replicating a design, and this design, I saw it online, I loved it, and I went on to replicate it to show you that nothing is impossible. All right, so we're going to be replicating a design. So let me bring the design, import the design we want to replicate. Let me import the design we want to replicate. All right, so I got that from okay. Okay, so here it is. Yes, so this is the design we are going to be replicating. But before we replicate this design, a few questions. What is your take on this design? Yes, you will reply, you will respond to this in the discussion group. What's your take on this design? Now, after that, what principles did you notice that was observed in this design? What principle and what principle and what principle did you notice? All right, so I'll be expecting your responses on the discussion group. Right, so this video is going to be in two parts. So first of all, we are going to try to generate or bring out our text outline. Yes, everything that has to do with text, we are going to bring that out, position it properly, and then the second part, we're now going to work on the background and all other stuffs. All right, so as you can see, some person might see this and then say, okay, fine, this is a system design. Why it was not done with a phone? This is too beautiful, too technical, to have been done with a phone. But sorry to burst your bubble, this can be achieved with just your smartphone. Yes, and I think I have good news for you. Do you know that you can now access Photoshop? I mean, a Photoshop software with your smartphone. All right, so I have a video on that. That's not the purpose of this class though, so you can get that video of mine and then learn how to do it. All right, so now technology has made things easier for us. So this was done with a smartphone, and I'll show us just how to replicate this. All right, so the first thing we're going to do now is to draft out our texts. So let's start from there. All right, so I'm going to change my background now to black. Let my background be black. Okay, not necessarily black, but a dark background. All right, so I'm going to use this is fine. So first thing first, okay, let's generate all our tests. So I'll start with ignition. Okay, so just follow through. I might not talk all through the video, but then where I need to explain, I explain. Where I need to keep mute, I keep mute. So let's learn together. So here is ignition. All right, so I'm going to do something here. Now we can see from the flyer that the ignition is not straight. All right, it's somehow bent. So let's rotate this a bit. Yeah, and increase the size. Fine, so let's leave it like this. We'll come to the front later. Now what next do we do? Let's copy this one. We've rotated it to give us this. Let's now copy it. Now this is rotated, but if you take a close look at this design, you see that it was rotated, but then it is still slanty. All right, so let's make this italic. All right, so go to your text, go to your style, and then turn on this icon, this eye icon. You turn it on. All right, this eye icon, you turn it on. So I tap on it, and you can see now it's italic. Fine and good. Let's make progress. So what we are gonna do now, let's copy this same text. Copy it. That's to duplicate it, and then let's edit it to write 3rd January to 12th of February 2022. So tap on it, edit 12th January 12th January to what again? Is it 13th February? Let's just use 13th February. It's just for the sake of replication. It's not an actual flyer. Alright, so here's what we have. Wow, this is massive. Okay, so first let's start by reducing the size. And I'll tell you why I said we should copy that, we should duplicate that ignition to make use of it. Alright, so mind you, if you are going to import another text and then edit, you will have to rotate it again and then apply and make it slanty. But then if you're rotating it, if you're not careful, you might not get exactly the same rotation. That is why, as we've done the first one, any other one that is rotated or slanty, just copy that and make it the same. So that's the purpose for us to copy. All right, in case you added any effects also to the first one and you want to replicate it in another text, another font, another text, just copy and duplicate it. All the effects will be added. So that is to ease off the stress. I trust you are following. So same thing we will do to the 40. Let's also copy the 40 and edit it. 4 and 0. All right, so let's leave that here. We'll come to change the fonts later. So what next? Let's copy the days of, edit the days of, DAYS of. All right, so just leave them as they are. We'll come to the fonts later. All right, so let's say we are done with part 1. All right, so I can categorically put this into 3 parts. This middle part, part 1, this side, part 2, and the logo and the other side, part 3. All right, so we are successfully done with part 1. Let's now move on to what part 2. That's the top part, daily fast. So that should not be an issue. All we need to do is to get a shape. This is a shape. All right, so reduce the size, the height. So this is okay. This should be okay. So let's color it orange, as you can see from there. So we change the color to orange, as that one is definite, so we can just start off with that one. All right, okay, so let's move it to the edge and place it here. Yeah, it's just fine the way it is. All right, so you can see now we are having 2 colors here, daily fast and 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So what do we need to do? Let's duplicate this one. We duplicate this one now to give us another shape. All right, so copy, that's been duplicated. So now let's change the color of our duplicate to black. Now we are going to place this properly to fit in to the orange rectangle. All right, so now let's move this towards the ending and see what we've got. All right, so you can see it's not properly placed. So let's still push it downwards a bit, position, reduce the size, push it once, and let's see, it's still not. So once more, let's push it down. All right, so it's remaining a little bit, push it down again. Okay, let's push it upwards. So it's fine the way it is. It's fine. So by the time we now bring in our background, that scene orange layer we can see would not be visible. So now our daily fasts. Now let's import our texts and edit. We're gonna edit our texts and then daily fasts in block letters. Here we go. So let's reduce this and place it here. Now that is gonna be black. Change the color to black. daily fast. All right, then let's copy that text, duplicate it, and change the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. All right, so here is what we've got. Let's also change the color towards white. Okay, so just place it properly. We'll come back to edit that. Okay, so you can see we are making progress. Now what's next? The next thing here is now to come downwards our venue and all, and find and we want to draft out our venue, our time, and whatever. So what we need to do also here, let's duplicate this our shape. All right, we copy it, but now we are going to reduce the width. So go to relative size and disable this ratio. All right, because if you adjust it when the ratio is enabled, both the width and the height is adjusted. Look at now, if I reduce it by 1, you see that both the width and the height reduced. All right, so now if I just want to reduce only the width or only the height, I have to disable it. All right, so I want to reduce the width alone, so you can see the height is not distorted. Yes, so this should do. All right, so let's place this here. Sorry, let's move it upwards a bit, upwards. Okay, so here's just fine. Over to this side. Remember, we are to have our grid to guide us. All right, so our grid will serve as our border. We don't want any of our elements to go past this grid we are placing here. All right, we don't want any of our elements to go past this grid we are placing here. So you can see the way it was aligned from the logo down here. You can see that they didn't go past, they are on the same line, so no one went towards the left. They were on the same line. That's alignment. So use your grid to achieve that. You set your grid to where you prefer, and then you make sure that none of your elements goes beyond that grid you've set. All right, so let's continue. Venue, let's see you copy this daily fast, duplicate it, edit it. We get a venue. Okay, so we'll come to edit later. Let's leave it that way. Okay, let's still reduce the width of this shape. All right, 15 is just fine. All right, so now my venue, I'm still going to duplicate it and edit it. Now what are we to write? Remnant prayer tent, NUJ hall along Robban stores, blah 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 blah. All right, so remnant prayer tent, NUJ hall. Okay, what else was written there? Along Robban stores, along Robban stores. What else? Behind CBN Nodo Oka. Behind, okay, there's meant to be a comma here. Behind CBN Nodo Oka. All right, so here is my address. Let me reduce this. Okay, now this size is too big. It does not necessarily have to be that big. Just reduce it. Let's change the color to white. Yeah, let me increase it. Okay, good. So position this, make sure it's well aligned, does not go beyond your grid. All right, so this is just fine. So we have this. So what next? We are going to edit this our same venue, and we are going to change it to 5 p.m. daily meeting. 5 p.m. 5 p.m. daily meeting. So here's what we've got. Still change the color towards the white, and then increase the size. Let's leave it at 25. If we need to increase it more when we are editing it later on, we'll do all of that. So position it properly, make sure it does not go beyond the grid. Okay, yeah, it's just fine. So what next do we have? We have a dotted line. So let's go to our text and edit. So all you need to do is just try to create a dot, long one. All right, this should do. Okay, so we're going to reduce the size of this also. I'm going to reduce this size 15. Yeah, 15 should do just fine. All right, so let's position this now. Okay, awesome. So we're going to duplicate. If you can see, take a look at this. Sorry, take a look at this. You can see there are two lines, so we're going to duplicate this and then bring it downwards. Now where we've placed it, no element should go beyond this line, so that is serving as a border beneath. All right, so all of that things now is going to fit into this place. Let's move this downwards a bit. Okay, awesome. So now what things are we going to have? For inquiries, call. Need a small font. Okay, let's use this. Copy. For inquiries, call. You can put your number. Yes, it's for the purpose of practice. For inquiries, call 09056417421. All right, so I bring this down here, and I still reduced my size. 15 is just fine. Let me leave that 16, and then it went beyond my border, so let me bring it back. All right, bring it downwards. Good. Now I'm going to change my color, and it's going to be white. Awesome. Now same thing I'm going to do. We are almost done with this. So we are making progress. We're almost done with this. What next do we need to do? Let me bring this downwards a bit. Let me move this upward a bit. Okay, now let me move this downwards a bit. All right, so I want to move my elements downwards so it will not be too close to the main text. All right, so just do it to your taste, but then there are some things you should take note of while doing it. Okay, I'll bring this down here. Move it downwards a bit. All right, so just fine. So now you can see this MixLR, it's a logo on its own. All right, so the logo and the name, they are joined together. All right, so you must have downloaded your elements. All right, your icons here, you must have them downloaded. So I think I have MixLR icon on my phone, so let me just look for it and then import it from gallery. So let me just pause so it won't take too long. Alright, so here I have my mix LR. So I'm gonna import it right now. So let me cancel this. So this is my mix LR. So what I need to do now, I'm going to okay, let me mark this and then let's remove the background color, which is white. Alright, so we'll go to erase color, and then enable. Once we enable, the white goes off. Alright, so tolerance, set tolerance to 10. The reason for this tolerance is that sometimes when it removes the color, you still see some particles on the image you want to have left. Alright, so like you can see now, the white is still very much visible, but then as you increase the tolerance, the white fades off. So just leave it at 10. 10 is just fine. Now we're not going to place it like this. The mix LR beneath is going to be by this side. So what do we need to do? We're going to crop out this. So let's go to crop, and then we crop out just this circle, the dotted circle all around. Alright, so we crop that out. Good. So we just have this. So now let's change this red to white. Yes, and then we reduce the size. Now let's take it to its position downwards. Yeah, so move it a bit. Yeah, so we leave it there. So what we are going to do again is that still this mix LR, we are going to copy it, it's duplicate itself here, but then we are going to crop out the circle parts and then focus on the texts. Right, so crop out the circle parts and focus on the texts. So here's what we have. So let's bring this down. Well, you can see it's not visible, right? So let's increase the size to see what we've got. Wow, are they playing jokes on us? Okay, so it's something I've noticed in Pixellab. Once you duplicate an image or a shape, it kind of reduces the quality and sometimes make it very blurry. All right, so but it will be a stress going to look for it again, like to find it on my device. So we make use of it like this, but the way it is like this is the way it's going to be here. But when you save it, it's not going to be like this. It will give you exactly what you have here, mix LR. All right, so once you save it to your phone, the proper image, the proper text is going to come out, but for the sake of here, it's going to be blurry. All right, so I would suggest I go import it again, but then it's way too far in my gallery. Okay, I think that would be the best. So let me just hold on. Right, so I've seen it. So let's import this again, and then we'll just concentrate on the texts. All right, so let's crop this out. Yeah, so here's what we've got. So already the background has been cleaned. Let me check out something. Okay, it has been cleaned. All right, so let's now move it to where his second half is. All right, so I'll adjust it, bring it downwards a bit. So let's reduce the size. Okay, 13 will just be fine. All right, so let's position it again. So yeah, it's fine. All right, so we're now going to copy the link. So let's duplicate this. https:/mixlr.com. Let's edit. https mixlr.com. What else do we have? /RCN Anambra. All right. /RCN Anambra. Okay. So here's our text. So we're going to reduce the size. Yeah, small is cute. Small is cute. Small is cute. Okay. So you can see it's still very, very, very much visible. This was what we imported, I think. Let's remove the color. Increase the tolerance. 20 will be fine. So let's reduce it and change the color to white. So you see, finally, after all the shakara, it still came back to itself. Oh, sorry, we don't need you. Now you can see the difference. You can see that this one is much more clearer than this. You see, this that we imported newly is much more clearer than this that we duplicated. So that's what I was trying to explain. All right. So let's reduce the size of this. And then it's okay. Let's now send it to his other half. All right. So you stay just there. Yeah. Okay. So we'll soon be ending this phase of the video. So what we need to do now, this our icon, we need to go import our icon. So you can choose to download your icon individually, or you can download them collectively. So I have both individual and collection of icons. So I think what I'll just need here, just my collection of icon, and then it makes things easier for me. All right, so let me just look for where I have them. I have them somewhere around here. Collection of icons. Okay, not this. Not this. Not this. Not this. Okay, my collection of icons is somewhere close by. All right, so here they are. But that's not what I'm looking for. For one that's small. Exactly. So this is what I'm going to use. This. All right, so yeah, so you can get them from sites like PNG Item, PNG Guru, and its likes. All right, PNG Item, PNG Guru, and the rest. So now these are not the. I know YouTube was part of the icon. Twitter, I think Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp was not there, and this was not there. All right, so this is just the fact that we are replicating it. Is not real. So let's just make do with this. All right. So let's now remove the color. This is our white background. Increase the tolerance and then change our color to white. It's a bit white. All right. So in case you're looking for sites where you can download your icons in PNG formats. PNG means without background. All right. So you can go to PNG Guru, PNG Find, PNG Item. All right. So all these are sites where you can get your icons that are PNG. But over time, I've gotten to discover that from these sites, they really would not give you the PNG itself. Like, they still come with background. That's transparent background is what it comes with most at times. All right, but there's a site I know of that, there's no icon or item you want to download from that site that it's ever comes with background, and that's I would send that to the group. I won't say that here. I'll send to the group. Alright, so let's just adjust it. Now you can see it's really not clear here. We're gonna leave it like that. When we save our image, it's going to come out very, very sharp. So just leave it this way. So what is next? RCN Orca. So let's just edit it to have RCN Orca. Let's make use of this one. So let's copy it, edit to have RCN Orca. RCN Orca. All right, so here we go. We place this by the side. Okay, so it's looking too big. Let's reduce the size of it. Yeah, 13 is just fine. All right, so you can see we've successfully drafted our elements here. So we are going to end this video very soon, and then in our next video what we are going to be focusing on is our background, and then editing the elements we've used here. That is where we're going to change our fonts, and then basically our fonts and then our background. So to make it more easier for this video, you can just import any of your picture that you've removed the background. Yes, by now you should have removed lots and lots of background from pictures and images you're using. All right, I've shown you guys how to do it, the sites, the app, and all of that stuff. All right, so if you want to do it manually, fine. If you want to do it online, fine. All right, so just import an edited background with an image with no background. All right, so I'm going to use that which I used before. Yes, I have an affinity for that picture, so don't mind me though. All right, so this is the image I'm going to use. So what I'm going to trim it, let it be square. All right, and then rotate it to the side. All right, so I bring this down here. I'm going to increase the size of this. Okay, let me still crop it. Sorry, let me leave it this way. All right, okay, let me still crop it. Sorry, I'm trying to get something. Okay, so let's leave it this way. All right, so this is good. So one more thing before we end this video, let's duplicate this shape, and then we change the color towards white. Let's change the color to white just to put the name. All right, so okay, let me push this up a bit, push it down a bit. All right, so here's what we've got. Okay, now I want this to be aligned with this over here. Remember I said I don't want any of my elements to go beyond that, so I'm going to make sure my rectangle is fitted, it doesn't go beyond. All right, so that's that. So what next? Just to put the name, so just put your name, whatever name you want to use, put your name. All right, so minister God's gifts. All right, so here's the name. Then reduce the size. It's too big. Reduce the size. 15 should be fine. Then change the color and make it black. All right, so we have this. All right, so technically, if you now want to access what we've done so far, you would see that we've tried to bring out all our details and elements and we've placed them properly. All right, so even like this, you can just add a plain background and your design will still come out beautiful. It will still come out beautiful. All right, so basically in our next video, what we are going to be considering is to edit our fonts and then impute a background. That's what we'll be considering in our next video. So thanks for watching. Till we meet again, stay jiggy.